Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Community Spotlight, brought to you by ATB Wealth, where we highlight the people and organizations making a difference in our community. Today, we're going to be diving into alumni networks and how they play a crucial role in supporting students, graduates, and businesses. I'm joined by three people today. So I got with me Zach Webster, who's the president, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Dominic Ramponi, the vice president.
Yes.
And then Kara Casimir, hope I got that right, who's the past president, is joining us virtually as well from Vernon, I believe, right, Kara?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome all three of you. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
Awesome. So I think what I'd love to do is just start off, and then we'll jump into a bunch of questions, and we'll talk about the association, what you guys do. Maybe a little bit of an intro on, if each of you just give us the elevator speech on your connection to Okanagan College and what inspired you to get involved in sort of the Alumni Association as well would be great to hear. And maybe, Carol, we can start with you a little bit, because I know it sounds like you've been there for a while. So
Yes.
I'd love to hear your story, what the connection is, and then we'll kind of move to the other two as well.
So I'm trying not to age myself, but I graduated in 1999, and I was a graduate of the very first ever Bachelor of Business Admin degree program at Okanagan College. At that time, it was OUC, Okanagan University College.
Okay.
So I graduated in 1999 and then came back and volunteered with the Alumni Association in 2001. So I've been involved for a very long time. Again, not aging myself. So, but I got back involved because I was very passionate about the fact that I believed in the education I got from our
Right.
institution, and I believed that successful alumni are an amazing representation in the community and beyond, and can be inspirational for new students coming up into
Love
the
it.
post-secondary world.
Love it. How about you, Zach? What's your story, connection?
Oh, yeah. What's my story? I mean, my educational experience is fundamentally the reason why I wanted to kind of
Okay.
volunteer for the Alumni Association. And, but particularly, so I started my educational journey back similar with Kara when it was Okanagan University
Okay.
College, OUC,
Right.
with a BA, a Bachelor of Arts back in 2002. During that transition, it became UBC and UBCO.
Right,
So I actually
right.
finished with the
Oh,
UBCO,
interesting.
wonderful institution, only have positive things to say
Yeah.
about it. And then I did the usual, what do I want to do with my
Mhm.
life kind of journey, and ended up back to Okanagan College for Bachelor of Business Administration.
Mm.
So there I did that degree, and that experience fundamentally kind of changed my life. The college's mission, of course, is to transform lives and communities.
Right.
They very much did that for me. And so the Alumni Association's mission, of course, is to celebrate alumni by creating connections in community. And so I wanted to make sure that the experience I had at university and then subsequently at college at OC
Right.
transferred into the community that I was working with. Right, alumni are all over the Okanagan.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
every time I interact with them, I want to bring that same feeling that I got at the institution to the community that we interact with.
That's awesome. Well, we have a couple alumni on staff here, and,
Ah.
and I always say that not because you're in the room, is that like the hires from OC are so different, like in a good, like in a super positive way. Like they just bring a different. I don't know if it's a work ethic or what it is, but like we have like our top people here are from OC grads, so which is awesome.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Happy to hear it.
Dom, so I didn't
Dom.
know there was even school when you, like, how long ago when you went to school back in, like...
I will definitely age yourself. I graduated in 1976 from Okanagan College with a diploma in business administration, and which has helped me immensely.
Right.
I ended up with a 35-year career at the regional district in accounting. And it's allowed me a lot of the stuff that was involved in Okanagan College allowed me to be involved with a lot of different organizations through the community.
Right.
It was really, really positive there. And when we went there wasn't enough room on KLO, so our campus was right next to the OK Corral.
Oh, wow,
Oh,
really?
Kirshner Road.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, wow.
It was called Winnegar's Post House there. So anyhow, that's stories for another time. But it was the big issue that we had back then is we were disconnected from the college because every event you worked around the campus, right? So that kind of wasn't the best scenario. But a lot of the instructors that we had over there were entrenched in the community, and some of them I did business with after different organizations. So way back when in 1980 or whatever, there's a couple of us students who tried to get the alumni going, but there just wasn't enough to be going. So when it got up and running, I find just honored to be on here, because I think when you look at the and Rob alluded to it too, when you look at the students that they got employed at Czech Creative or Kelowna now, and you look at the students that have graduated right from welding programs to aircraft mechanics, like it goes on and on of what Okanagan College has contributed to the local community, right? All the way from Revelstoke, we got a campus, all the way down to Penticton. And when you look at what it creates, and you look at a lot of these tall buildings in the electrical program or the building program, they were workers from OUC, and even where I work now at West Manufacturing, we're aluminum and steel fabricators. We of course hire lots of welders. We hired lots of people from Okanagan College, and we made a huge contribution to the welding program to make sure that it was there and all was there. So there's a real, and it's exciting because when you see, and I'm so glad to be part of the board, when you see all the expertise that is on our Alumni Association board, it's like, wow, like it's at I think it's at another level with the people I've met there, and the direction where we're going with the Alumni Association, I think is right on, because it once you talk to people, they always had positive experience with Okanagan College. So we have to relay that to how we could help, and I think we've talked about it at the board level. Is how can we help students get jobs? Yeah. How can we introduce them to other businesses? So I think that's a real mandate, and it's a huge. And I'll speak one thing about the business program, because a lot of us were in there. Is one of the chairs, Carolyn Gilchrist, I was talking to her one day. There's 2,000 students alone in the business program at Okanagan College. Like that stat to me is amazing.
That's amazing. Actually,
just that one program. It's very exciting.
Well, it's interesting that that it says a lot that you still feel a connection from 1976 graduating to today, but you still feel a connection to the college, right? So that says a lot about the actual school itself and the program and the people and the connections you made, because it's easy to kind of grow apart, for lack of a better word, right, of that many years. So I'm curious if we can build on that. Actually, is if we can speak a little bit on how I'm a recent grad. I leave OC. How do you support? Like, how do you support me as a student that's just a recent grad? And where do you see the real benefit of being connected to an alumni? Like, I didn't go to OC, I went to TRU, but I feel a connection to TRU. I sat on the board of alumni as well. And so can you speak a little bit about that from your guys' perspective, Zach, on sort of how you support these new graduates and why there should be a connection as an alumni?
Totally. And Kara and Dom, you jump in if I miss anything. But I think I've got really a two-part answer, and I think the first part's perhaps the most important, which is if you're watching this, or you're asking, and you are yourself asking that question, and you already have an answer in mind, reach out to us,
right?
Because we've got a really powerful board, and it's a board that's our mandate is very much to make sure that we can engage with our alumni in the way that works for them, right? And so I know that's a bit of a non-answer, but it's more of an an ask, right? Like we really want them to reach out to us to tell us what ways we can support. Not to avoid the question though, we have a number of different benefits discounts on various kind of hotels and events and that sort of thing. There's TB insurance policies and pieces there that they can get some great policies on, some other discounts and that sort of thing. We've got some events that we contribute to, and actually just recently Dom and I were on our kind of project team around events. We very much want to offer more events. So when I say events, I'm talking about either an alumni exclusive dinners or a speaker series, that sort of thing. Cool. And then of course we want to expand our networking. So again, Dom mentions about connecting current students, future alumni, to jobs and that sort of thing. How can we expand that network and connect folks? We want to run more events that are connecting those folks. And then last but not least, I would also want to mention we have a distinguished alumni and Award and Distinguished Young
okay.
Alumni Award, which spotlights
Yeah.
alumni and the work that they're doing in the community.
Yeah.
So it helps,
Yeah,
helps.
we do. Just to circle back to the insurance,
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah.
recognize that there's a lot of people who may be working for small businesses or even become self-employed, and access to group insurance may not be uh, feasible for them. So
Right, right,
we
right.
partner with TD Insurance, and we
Yeah.
offer home insurance, which is because we have so many alumni in our network, we get
Yeah.
really good group rates.
Mm-hmm.
So home insurance, and then we have life insurance, and
Right.
then extended medical and dental health benefits, and then we also have TD insurance for business. So if there's self-employed people out there have small businesses, they might be able to get a really good discount for insurance through our association and their connection with the alumni. So it's really about providing services that we kind of anticipate that people would need, but
Right.
also the value. And it's been a great partnership with TD as well.
So outside of the benefits, like how do you, like the benefits like the insurance stuff, there's a role like a mentorship or development role. Like I feel like that's where I think you guys are kind of talking about is the ability to have I was looking at the board too, like very diverse, like you bring different skill sets. Are you able when I'm a graduate alumni, am I able to get that support network from you guys as well?
Yeah. So, I mean, first and foremost, reach out to us.
Right.
If you're looking for something in specific, reach out, and we're happy to connect you. We've got a spotlight series on our website that highlights various
very cool.
different books from various alumni from
Yeah.
different sectors
Yeah.
and that sort of thing to help foster connection. And again, I'm really excited about offering more events that will do exactly that.
Right.
We'll have some networking opportunities on a larger
To bring
scale,
them together, to bring these
together.
people together. Is there anyone that comes to mind? Has there been some alumni that are like, maybe we don't know they're alumni that have stood out in the community? Any names that sort of, not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Is there anyone that comes like,
I think one prominent one that I run into lots is working on some projects with West Bank First Nations is Chief Robert Louis. Was an alumni of Okanagan
that's
College.
interesting.
He went
Love
the same period I was.
Okay, yeah.
And so we bumped into each other, and first time a few years ago I bumped into him and he said, I know that name from somewhere. And then it reminded me, oh yeah, we went to the college together. But there's also there's been like Don Turry, who was a part,
yeah.
he's an alumni of
Yeah.
Okanagan College. There's umpteen.
Yeah. I know I'm putting you guys on the spot.
Oh,
no.
Sometimes
you don't know everybody that always graduated from OC, but
although we partnered with the college around 60 event, so it was the 60th anniversary of the college, and with that we spotlighted, and they spotlighted 60 wonderful alumni. So if you're interested, wondering who might be, flip through that.
Okay.
But yeah, the trick to your sentence is folks that we might not know. A lot of the alumni are already evident in the
right.
Bree Lake, from the CEO from Accelerate Okanagan. OC alumni.
Interesting. Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Great.
Shane Koizan, personal big fave of mine.
He's another one.
He's an alumni.
That's
Yep.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, very interesting.
Yeah.
So how do
There's-
sorry, go ahead, Kara. Sorry.
No, there's a number, and we have every kind of graduate too. Like from our continuing, somebody who has made a difference is one that comes to mind is Christina Fast, and she took our medical device reprocessing certificate at continuing studies, and she went on to create an organization, a nonprofit that actually goes and helps teach to sterilize in third world countries. So they're actually changing lives and saving lives with what she's doing.
Yeah.
And she was the 2019 Young Alumni recipient. So and we've had, like you said, graduates from the culinary department and graduates from our lots of business graduates because we're exceptional.
Right.
But there's been some amazing people that we've actually really been able to highlight. So.
Love it. So what's the best way for businesses to get involved? And I know, I can speak for us. Like we've come to career fairs and we get involved and we actively try to recruit out of the specifically around the business program, but other businesses, because it's not just business. Like I said, there's other verticals you guys run. So what's the best way for business in the community to get involved with the Alumni Association?
Yeah. I mean, my first thought
Yeah.
is under that kind of events piece that we do. One of the things we like to do is a program called OC Works, where we come to a business that has a number of different alumni employed with them and celebrate those alumni
I
and
didn't
bring
know
everyone
that.
together.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're a business that hires alumni, has some wonderful alumni
Yeah.
working for you, give us a shout,
Oh,
and we'd
very
love to
cool.
come to your community, your business, and do a little in-house
And that-
celebration.
That worked for West Manufacturing because I can't remember who it was from Okanagan College that reached out to us or reached out to me at one event we were at.
Right.
But it turned out that we had like 16 people there. 8 of them had been alumni of Okanagan College, either
gosh.
welding program or
Yeah.
forklift or whatever.
pretty cool.
So they came there, they brought some goodies, and they
Yeah.
took some pictures and interviewed the people. It was really rewarding that the people that work for us felt recognized that they went to Okanagan College.
Yeah.
And because of that, they got recognized.
Yeah.
So there was a real, for a week or so, it was, oh, that was awesome having, Okanagan College come out there and recognize what we had done as a company, West, but also that the graduates, they could see the work of sawmill equipment. They would fabricate, they could
Yeah.
physically.
Oh, that's very neat. I love that connection. I think that's great. I'm curious. Maybe this question for you, Kara, is that obviously some graduates stay here and a lot go elsewhere, right? So
Yeah, they do.
as they leave the community, how can, how can they stay connected? Like, what's an easy way for them to be able to stay connected even when they're not living? Because the events, obviously,
Sure.
but a lot of people go and you still feel that connection to wherever you went to school. So what's the best way for them to stay connected?
Well, we actually have a newsletter that they can sign up
Oh,
for.
okay, cool.
So
Okay.
they can go to the Okanagan College website and click under About Us, and there's an alumni link there.
Okay.
So we're encouraging everybody to make sure we have your updated information. A lot of people do move, or
Yeah,
they went to
absolutely.
school and they live with their parents, and then they
Yeah.
moved out, and now we don't have their updated address and their updated email addresses. So we encourage everybody to keep connected with us,
Okay.
and share your stories, share the stories so we can do highlights. We often will do alumni highlights and run them on our website, or nominate people for the Distinguished Young Alumni Awards that we have all the time. But definitely, like, the newsletter or social media. We have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, and those places where they
Right.
can stay connected and learn about stuff. We actually have a member on our board who lives in Vancouver, and he
Oh,
and he
cool.
zooms in. So distance with the technology we have now is a lot farther along. So we have talked about chapters. A number of years ago, we had a
Right.
chapter of group of people in Calgary area that were kind
Mhm.
of getting together and celebrating being alumni from OC, and they were doing some social networking kind of stuff. So we are happy to help support any and all of those kind of initiatives that we can, and yeah, just we're encouraging people to stay connected with us so we can celebrate
Yeah.
the successes and actually keep you updated on new things that we're offering. So.
Well, one other thing, since I'm of the grandpa age, when you talk, when you're talking to other grandparents, a lot of them don't realize what Okanagan College does.
Right. Right.
Like they do that. And one where I talk about lots is the water tech. I can't remember what it's called.
Right.
Of course, you take Okanagan College. Like without those water tech people at all the water treatment plants, because of the Canadian standards for water, they're really important to our community. And Okanagan College has got a high. They're looked at as good quality instruction when you go to a lot of these things. So that's
Interesting.
yeah, it's pretty neat.
It is interesting.
And just for 1 second,
Yeah, for sure.
the Alumni Association recognizes anybody who's graduated from a
Yes.
diploma, certificate, a micro
good
credential,
point.
or a degree, or 30 transfer credits. So we've got people who came here years and years and years ago and took a university transfer, and they've maybe taken their first 2 years and then went on to get a degree at UBCO or True or wherever.
Right.
We still recognize the 30 credits of um, transfer courses, so they still have access to all of the benefits and services that we offer.
Well, that's a great call out. Thanks for mentioning it because that's a lot of people might not know. So that's really good.
Yeah, am I a grad? Yeah.
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 So I'm curious. You guys mentioning like have discussion about events. Is there anything sort of any upcoming projects or initiatives that you're excited about that we can talk about? Is there anything sort of upcoming that we want to highlight for people? If I'm alumni, or am I, or I'm not connected, or I should be connected, is there anything that we should let them know that there's something that's upcoming, or anything that's happening that we should put out there?
Well, I think one thing that one of the first events that we had talked about is a podcast with Kelowna
Yes.
Oh, okay.
About
Love it.
treating this as an event to get the word out there as what we do as an alumni association. So whatever we can do to get that out. So this is under the current board. This is our first official event. So
I love it.
We're pretty proud of that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's cool. And I think there's the connections to, I think, Carrie, you're mentioning, you said sort of the chapters. That's one thing that TRU did is when I was online, they were holding an event. It's hard to you can't get involved in everything. You guys can't organize it all. You have to let the people in the community do it, but it really connected, right? And I belong, I'm a CMC, Certified Management Consultant. We have a Kelowna chapter. We get together tonight. 4 of us might show up, or 12 of us might show up. We just pick a date. We're going to Copper Brew, and if you want to show up, off we go. And it's a really cool connection for people, and that kind of builds on its own, right? It builds on its own, which is really neat. So I'm curious, actually, a question for each of you. Can you talk a little about why you originally chose to go to Okanagan College? Why did you pick, because as you're thinking, and the other part is because you had choices, right? At the time when you went to school, you had choices. And what was when you, at the end, what really stood out? What was a memory for it? And as you guys were thinking, our daughter went to OC this year. She graduated from Boucherie, and she was looking at, do I go to UBCO or do I go to OC? And I encouraged her to say, awesome, OC is it's even a good start for you. You can decide if you want to stay there, you can or not. And she's loved the experience. But sometimes you feel like it's inferior. Like it or not, there's a stigma with the kids. I need to go to UBC, I need to go to TRU, and you can get almost better education at OC. So with that in mind, can you both, why did you guys make that choice, and what was sort of the highlight for you when you went to school at that time?
Fantastic. Yeah.
Well, for me in particular, I had 2 cousins. One graduated 2 years before me, and one was a year before me.
Yeah.
And they spoke very highly of Okanagan College, so it was kind of, and it's right in the backyard. It literally was a 2-minute drive for me to go there. But it was that type of thing that really sealed the deal. They said, yeah, it's really good. And by the time I graduated, one of them had already been working in the accounting firm. So that was a big plus to me to find out that it was worthwhile. It was from a relative, from a student who would, if they would have said it would have been a bad experience, they wouldn't have recommended it. Right,
yeah, for sure. Interesting. Yeah. How about you, Greg? Or Kara, go ahead.
Sorry,
Kara.
Oh, sure. Okay. Similarly, I was living in Armstrong with my family, and originally thought, oh, I'm going to leave this town, get out of here. I'm going to go to, and my plan when I was in grade 12, I am nowhere near anything that I thought I would do as a career. And I went to starting with university transfer. I started with a year of university transfer thinking I was going to go on to be a psychologist. And that is just not where I am. But, and then I just loved it. I loved it. And I did take a bit of a break, decided that I needed to work, and then went back as a more mature student and did the diploma and then did the degree. And I've done certificates. It's just something that I believe in, the quality of education that we get. The instructors are amazing. The you can get the one-to-one help. You're not a student number in a big lecture or theater. And I mean, to be quite fair, I don't know if that's still the case, but I know there's larger institutions where, you're sitting in a classroom with 200 people.
Yeah.
In OC, you might be sitting with 25, and your instructors, your colleagues, your fellow students and the students associations. And I just felt like it was a really good fit for me, and I am proud of the education I have, and that keeps me coming back to be involved in the Alumni Association. So,
love it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I really echo the same kind of spirit here. When I started back in 2002, it was about OUC was accessible and affordable, right? It was the local choice. Yeah. It was something I could get in, and it was well received in the community. But the moment I got there, is the reason why I stayed, and the reason why when I went back to school for business
Right.
education, I was like, no, it has to be OC. And it was the instruction I got. The quality and caliber of the instructors who were, they were there to teach. They were there to instill the knowledge they had, and they were involved in industry. So they had real world experience, practical applied experience that they brought into the classroom. I was really passionate about that. And they met me where I was. So I was coming in as an adult learner, a recently adult learner. I had a passion for philosophy, and I was going into business. Those two things don't always work out. But the instructors were careful and mindful to say, well, bring that experience with you into the classroom and into your future professional development, and fostered that. And that, of course, is what led to my real excitement and passion.
Interesting. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm curious from like what from your guys' personal perspective, like where's the connection, like where's the driving force from the alumni side? Like I in marketing, we we talk about the why of your business. Why do you do what you do, right? So I'm curious a little bit from all three of your perspectives. You could do, there's other things you can do in life and you're busy.
Sure.
Why alumni? What's important to you? Where's your driver? What makes you drive in the morning? At the end of the day, you're like, yeah, that was awesome and I can't wait to do it again tomorrow. Maybe Dom, you can start with that.
The one thing that really hit home to me about the alumni was over the years we built a lot of hockey players, and we had 2 of our kids got hockey scholarships down in the U.S. Their alumni associations at small schools is out of this world.
Yeah, right. Okay.
When you look at their model and you look at what we could do here, like some of the schools, let's say if you graduate, well, our son graduated from a small school, only 2,500 kids. But if you're an alumni of that school, you will get a job interview from some company that they went there, and that's a big. Hopefully, we can get there to sort of say, make sure you put on your resume that you were
be proud of it. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
And also do research somehow to find out if you want to work for a certain company, is there alumni of Okanagan College?
Right.
And I get that with some stuff I'm on LinkedIn. I'll get a note saying, oh, this person graduated from Okanagan College also. So I'll reach out to them and say, okay, I graduated back over here, and then we make a bit of a connection.
Yeah.
So I think that way is
interesting.
I think we have to get there. It's just that's across Canada. It's not as big.
Sure.
Every school across Canada doesn't seem to do it at the level I think they should.
Interesting. How about you, Kara? Where's your connection and the why for what you do with the Alumni Association?
I think it comes from the belief that we have an amazing alma mater, and our school, and it has had several iterations. It was the BC Vocational School when it first started, and then it was Okanagan College, and then OUC, and then back to Okanagan College. And we cover all of that. Like the Alumni Association welcomes everybody it was 1963, I think it was established. The college was established in 1963. So that's thousands of alumni. And my passion comes from when someone is standing there proudly saying, I graduated from OC and this is what I've done. And to celebrate the successes of our grads and celebrate the way they are transforming our communities and transforming lives. And I think that, to me, is, I think the Alumni Association Awards, like the last year when we did OC celebrated 60 amazing alumni. That was fantastic to be able to go see the types of things we as Okanagan College graduates do.
Right.
And our grad class for the very first year of the diploma, the degree, sorry, we had 26 graduates. It was very small. And now, like you said, there's 2,000 grads in the
That's awesome.
in the School of Business, and I am still connected with probably most of them. So, and I'm
That's
seeing some
great.
amazing things that they do. So that makes me proud to be a graduate of Okanagan College, and that's my why.
Zach, how about you?
Tough to
Yeah, you
top
got to
that.
follow that. We should let Kara go last.
You can always say
No,
ditto, Zach, right?
But no, exactly that. Like my why, we've all talked about our transformative experiences while you're
there,
right? But the reality is anyone who goes through the Okanagan College system, the program, whatever their particular passion is, they don't stop once they hit graduation.
Right.
They go and they take that passion, that drive, and move into the community, and kind of identifying that, connecting with that, and feeling a kinship with the transformation that happened for me with folks who are out in the community, continuing to transform their community is really wonderful. And often those folks don't celebrate themselves, right? They're busy
Right.
doing the work.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
whether that's a nonprofit or like Accelerate Okanagan, an Accelerate, or deep into business and putting the hard hours into there. They're not necessarily celebrating themselves. And I will forever remember I was at a connections event or something from the chamber, sat next to someone, you do the old handshake and hi, where are you from? And they mentioned that they graduated from Okanagan College. And like Don mentioned, immediately I feel a kinship and I want to connect, not with their college experience, but what have they done since? What are they doing? And that's
awesome.
my why. I had that experience. Like if I could dedicate my time to having more of those experiences, then I'm thrilled. And that's
awesome.
why I started.
I love it. So let's end with if you're an alumni and maybe you aren't currently connected.
Oh yeah.
And you're listening to this and go, wow, I should be. What should they do? How do they participate? How do they connect? How do they get involved more? Because the ones that are engaged already are great, but there's a whole bunch that we want to reach out to.
Correct.
So what should they do? How do they engage with you guys?
Totally. So Kara mentioned the newsletter. If you go on to okanaganccollege.bc.ca/alumni, that's our main page. There you can sign up for the newsletter, or you can update your contact information. That's really important from an anti-spam perspective. If we haven't heard from you and you haven't heard from us in the last couple of years, we need you to jump in and do that. And then you can email us directly too. Like, hey, you mentioned events, you mentioned speakers, you mentioned that I could maybe do a chapter in my area, but I don't know how, and I need support to do so. We actively want to do that. Email us, alumni@okanagan.bc.ca. Yeah. Did I miss anything, Kara?
No.
No, that's the biggest thing, like making sure you have your updated information. And quite often, like every year after graduates graduate, we know that their eyes are wide and they're crossing the stage, and we're actually shaking their hand at the end, and they probably remember 30% of the day. And so it is about, once they've kind of had that few where they can sit down, it's about connecting back and making sure we have your information so that we can actually send you the information that we're doing and the exciting things that we're doing, and then the invitation to be a part of it. Like it, and being a part of it doesn't necessarily have to be a board. It could be it could be you want to sign up and be a part of a short-term task force. That's actually how we ended up with Zach. Is we had a task force.
It's true.
And I went out and said, hey, we have this task force for our strategic planning. We would like to be a part of it. And he came in and said, there you go. Yeah, I want it. And he just kind of morphed into, we weren't going to let him go. So
now you're stuck.
Well, it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure. Yeah, no, I just want to add one more thing too. Like, so we've got a really powerful board. It's a volunteer board and it's a working board, right? So it's folks who, like, the why is the reason we're there, and that's it. And of course, the mission is that we want to create connections and community. We want to celebrate alumni by doing that. And we've got some, the board's mandate this year is very much about doing. We don't need, we're not signing up to sit in the board room.
Fair enough.
We're signing up to go do that. We don't want to do that in a vacuum. So if you're listening and say, I wish you would do X, Y, Z, that's all we need. We just need that nugget. Whatever X, Y, Z is, let us know, and we're off to the races.
Love it. Well, thank you, all three of you, for joining me today. So I love what you guys are doing. Like I said, I have a connection to where I went to university and school, even to like, maybe I'm weird. I have a connection to even went to school in like high school, and like there's a connection because that's your friends are made there. It's a stepping stone into the real world. So I love what you guys are doing. I love that you're working towards that. Building these networks and the events and all that. So yeah, I mean, we're here to support. You guys always know that anyways. And from an employer perspective, like I said, OC hires are amazing. We love hiring OC students. So keep graduating them, but stay connected. I really do. Like, I think that there's a power amongst staying connected with your alumni, because you never know where you end up, and you can get support or mentorship or value out of just those small little connections that you don't know what you're going to get, right? So,
one thing I'd like to say is we appreciate you, Rob, for your contribution to the community, but also having this venue to get our word out is something where you feel a connection to the business community, and the connection to what you do, because it's community-based podcasts or community spotlight, whatever it is. So that fits into the mandate of Okanagan College, fits into the mandate of the Alumni Association, where we're one family and should be doing good stuff for the community.
Awesome. Well, thank you all three for coming. If there's anybody, if you said if there's people are listening and wondering how to connect, go to the website. We'll put the link in the article as well, so you guys can connect or reach out through email. But thank you all three of you for
And
coming.
before
I
I
really appreciate
forget,
it.
when we ever announce this big event, you guys will be the first to
Oh,
know.
We'll be there. I
Mhm.
love events.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Love it.
Again, yeah, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it.
Oh,
And
no,
Kara,
thank
thank you
you.
for taking the time joining us from Vernon. So thank you
Thanks.
guys for coming in too.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Pleasure.
Everyone else, we always say share these things, please. If you're watching, please share the videos with people, alumni or not, just a community. And we love having these conversations. So hope to see you next time. Take care. Thanks. Bye.